Third two, perform to potential. Are not the chosen few born to succeed? Not everybody seems to be that successful. I guess only a few are born to succeed. Sutra says all people are eligible and capable of achieving success, born to succeed. Some believe that success is for a lucky few who are born under a special star or blessed by special grace. Others feel that success comes to people because of high connections, family, wealth, or better or other external influences. Some say, I can never succeed. I'm good for nothing. All other X is a gone case of failure. Others think I'm a failure. I'm a big cross, a gone case of failure. That's not true. All can succeed. Even me, even X. No one is incapable of success. Ayogya purusho nasti. No one is incapable of success. But it is indeed rare to find one who recognizes one's own or another's potential and taps it. What is said for an individual is also true for an organization, community, or nation. Just as an individual must face challenges and take charge of carving a better future, so also an organization or nation. India was under British rule for more than 200 years. It was only when some individuals inspired the nation to rise and fight for their independence that the British had to quit India. It would not have been given on a platter, definitely not. Someone from outside would not have driven them out. A child asked, who gave you a black eye? He said, it's not given just like that. I had to fight for it. All members of an organization have to own responsibility and work for its success. They have to recognize their strength, find their own resources, plan out their programs, and work hard to achieve their goals. This is so, so true. Singapore, a fantastic example. Singapore was a small fishing island, completely dependent on mainland Malaysia. When it was expelled from Malaysia, it was shattered. How would they survive? However, recognizing its potential as a port and a banking center, its visionary leader, Lee Kuan Yew, made many futuristic plans, inspired the people to work them out, and within a short span of time, it became one of the most prosperous countries of Southeast Asia. Everyone is born to succeed. Do not underestimate yourself or another. This is so, so empowering. How can all be capable of success? You're saying there's potential. How? Since freedom is a speciality of human life, human birth is special. What is so special about human being that makes all capable of success? Animals are guided by their instincts. They are not equipped to overcome their conditioning. They have no freedom to do so. A cow is choicelessly a herbivore. However, the physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual personality of man gives him an infinite potential and freedom to progress. Even the physically challenged, like Stephen Hawking, or mentally challenged, like John Nash, could achieve great things. Then what to talk of those who have all their faculties intact? If we feel limited or incapable, then it is only by our own thoughts and imaginations. If we think we can achieve, we are free to do so, and then we truly can. What is the freedom that we as humans enjoy? Yeah, what is it? Yeah, freedom of action. knowledge, desire, and so on is available. Man is the roof and crown of creation. He has the freedom of thought and action, which enables him to tap his infinite potential. Freedom of movement. An inherent object cannot move by its own will. An inert object cannot move by its own will. Electricity propels the blades of the fan. Rooted in one place, the plant grows. Animals move within their territory. The Siberian cranes travels thousands of miles following the same path to the same destination year after year, generation after generation. However, man breaks all barriers of sound and space and travels even to the moon in zero gravity environment. Speech. The inert cannot communicate. Plants respond to thoughts and emotions. Animals communicate with their own species and some with others. Man alone has such an advanced speech that he has developed languages and literature for self expression, communicating his deepest emotion, the most abstract concepts, and the loftiest of thoughts. He has even trained animals to communicate better and invented sophisticated instruments to enhance his speed and ability to communicate through mobile phones, computers, and whatnot, through YouTube right now. Survival. Plants and animals depend totally on the environment for their survival. They can do little to overcome unconducive climatic conditions. They thrive only in their natural habitats. The king of the desert camel cannot survive in a tropical rainforest, but man adapts, survives, and thrives anywhere on earth and makes the environment conducive and comfortable for his own growth and progress. Choice in thought and action. Animals are guided by instincts and have no choice in thought and action. Man too has instincts, but also a well developed intellect, which allows him to choose. He can therefore do something, not to do it, or do it differently. He's got many options. Kartum sakyam, akartum sakyam, anya anyatha va kartum sakyam. Yeah, he can do something, not do it differently. Full of choices there. The horse is choicelessly herbivorous. Man can choose to be fruitarian, vegan, vegetarian, non vegetarian, pescatarian. With special efforts, he can absorb the required nutrients to survive through water, jalabhakshi, or air, vayubhakshi. Wow. Freedom in action. Just as there is freedom, there is also an inherent restriction in every system. When we eat beyond a limit, the food is vomited out. To choose to do so and be good within the restraints of the circumstances is freedom in action. Freedom, our birthright. Because of this, because of his inherent nature of freedom, man cannot tolerate finitude and slavery. He protests against all attempts to curb his freedom. Teenagers typically rebel against parental restriction on their movement. Even if for a time he is forced to accept restrictions, sometimes in him seeks freedom. Something in him seeks freedom. Suppression of his freedom of thought, speech, and action of societies and nations has led to the rise of freedom movements, wars, and revolutions. The famous words of the great Indian freedom fighter Lokmanya Tilak sums it well. Freedom is our birthright, and we shall get it. This is the fundamental right given in all democracies. The spirit of independence always prevails. How should we use this God gifted freedom? Good question. That should be used for raising oneself and not indeed for self destruction or others' destruction. Oh, definitely not like Ravana. Make or break. We have infinite potential, the ability to tap it, the, and the freedom to do so. We have infinite potential, the ability to tap it, and the freedom to do so. This freedom is like a double edged sword. It can make us or it can break us. Speed and power without brakes and direction result in accidents and death. If controlled and directed, it can rocket us sky high. Strings by themselves have no music. When they are fixed to a guitar with the right tension and strummed by an adept musician, they produce melody and give joy to all of us. If they are loose or tight or played without rhyme or reason, they produce noise. The neighbor asked the boy, "What can I give you to stop playing your new harmonica?" Freedom from action. The lazy and fearful make the choice of inaction. Akartum sakyam. Not to do, not to do what we should do can also harm ourselves and others. For example, a student neglects his studies or parents do not work and earn to support the family. Knowing that you should do it, no, this reminds me of what Jim Rohn says in his talks, right? He says, you could do it, you should do it, like taking a walk around the block. You could do it, you know you could do it. You know you should do it to have good health, but not doing it, that's what he said. For example, a student neglects his studies or parents do not work and earn to support their family. It's a choice of inaction that might not be good for us. Anyway, make your choice. Puja Gurudev said, not to do what you feel like doing is not to do what you feel like doing is freedom. To do whatever you feel like doing is licentious. Did I pronounce it right? To act on our whims and fancies can lead to the destruction of ourselves and others, as in the case of drunken driving or overspeeding. True freedom is to curb impulsive and harmful tendencies and redirect our energy into creative, fruitful, meaningful channels. Pujya Gurudev, therefore, gave the Chinmaya Yuva Kendra, youth wing of Chinmaya Mission, the motto, harnessing your youth potential through dynamic spirituality. Most of us consider having freedom is to have the ability to whatever we want to do, right? This is so beautifully said. Shift in thought process. Not to do what you feel like doing is true freedom. Mind says snooze and you snooze, thinking it is freedom, but actually, what's happening? You give in to that lazy calling, right? The treasure trove of potential seems to be unknown, hidden, wasted, or abused in many of us. Where is it? And who has the key to it? The fifth sutra says all potentials needed for it are kept in oneself only. Knock the door and shall be opened. The infinite potential and the ability to tap it are right within each of us. Most of us do not believe we have it or that we can get it. मुझको कहाँ हाँ मुझको कहाँ ढूंढे रे बंदे मैं तो तेरे पास में मन केवल विश्वास में. The musk deer runs here and there in search of the fragrance emerging from its own navel. The thirsty fish in the pond searches everywhere for water. It is indeed laughable. पानी में पानी में मीना प्यासा मुझे सुना सुना आवता हंसी. पानी में मीना प्यासा. The fish is thirsty in the pond. Of course, when I hear it, I find it laughable. Not only is the treasure trove with me, but the key to open it is also with me. In fact, both are the same. The key is the treasure. My inherent potentials themselves enable me to progress. What is this invaluable gift that I already possess? Sutra number 6 says, these potentials are of body, speech, mind, intellect, and also of all external means. Indeed, the treasure that we possess is invaluable and vast. Physical potential, health is wealth. A strong, healthy, and fit body has a tremendous capacity to work. Some through exercise and right diet, live long, healthy lives. Some through sheer dint of practice and exercise, like athletes, and others through austerities, like yogis, have accomplished unbelievable physical feats. I once saw um, uh, when we were in the presence of Sri Sri, I think it was one of the Guru Purnima celebrations, and um, she had invited many of these, super accomplished yogis in the crowd. This gentleman, he was a solid, hefty, tall, well built guy who came into the crowd. He was able to stop his heart from beating. Like he's standing there, he was not lying down, nothing. He's standing there. He was able to stop his heart from beating. And there was a doctor with stethoscope. She's trying to measure, and she's like, I can't hear the heartbeat. Yogis accomplishing unbelievable physical feat. This was one of them. Variety is the spice of life. The organs of perception can hear, feel, see, taste, smell, thousands of sounds, textures, colors, and forms, tastes, and smells, respectively. How enriched is our life due to that? Speech. Among all the organs of action, speech is the most powerful. Words have the power to inspire, motivate, hypnotize, whip up emotions, instigate, demoralize, kill, or even enliven. Enliven. It is a powerful tool of self expression, making and breaking relations and communication. Very, very true. Vak, vak, the power of speech, eloquence, how you use your Sri Sri calls the tongue as the one um, boneless organ in the mouth, right? And one of the tongue is one which has two functions. Like nose, the only function is to smell. Eyes, the only function is to see. Ears, only function is to hear. But the tongue has two functions. One to enable speech. The other one to enjoy your tastes and to swallow, right? So with your tongue, it can go this way and that. It can lash. You can either lash at people with it, or you can really raise them up. Very, very powerful in speech. Mind. Even an ordinary mind has the capability to receive and store information. Yeah. Much more than hundreds of computers. The mind can rule over matter and other minds. The mind can feel the deepest and most sensitive emotion and intense peace and joy. It functions at an unbelievable speed, It takes 8 minutes for light to travel from the sun to the earth, but a fraction of a second from the mind to reach there. It performs thousands of functions simultaneously and efficiently. What cannot be achieved by us when we what cannot be achieved by us when we put our minds to it. Absolutely true, isn't it? Intellect. The various intellectual abilities of man, like creativity, imagination, analysis, understanding, organizing, sensitivity, and so on, and their infinite potential and use have opened up a whole new world of fascinating experiences. Path breaking discoveries in the fields like science and technology have changed our lifestyle, influenced every aspect of life and the way we think and respond. It has given rise to sophisticated modes of communication and transport, machineries and gadgets, and unbelievable feats in air, water, and space. A man reciting the entire encyclopedia forward and backward could surely leave us spellbound. Extraordinary powers or siddhis like becoming featherweight or heavy, giant size or minuscule, walking on water, levitation, and so on are all achieved through channelizing our physical, mental, intellectual, and spiritual potentials. The sky is truly the limit for what we can do with what we have. We only have to realize this. A child threw tantrums each day, demanding a mobile phone, expensive toys, and new clothes from his mother, who could hardly make ends meet. She took him to a saint, asking him to guide her son. The saint asked the child, "Will you agree to give me something in exchange for the money to buy what you want? I'll give you rupees 10,000 for each of your fingers, rupees 25,000 for each of your thumbs, and 5 lakhs for your eyes." I realized that he was worth billions and that he could work to get whatever else he needed. He never complained thereafter. Once, in his childhood, Swami Vivekanandaji heard his friends bragging about what wealth each of their fathers would give them. Swami Vivekanandaji went home and asked his father what he would be given. His father made him stand in front of the mirror and said, "I have given you what you see in the mirror, a young, healthy body. Now you can create your own wealth." I like it. How can we harness this great potential that lies within us? Sutra 7 says, "But to manifest them, a great goal in life is necessary." How do you channel the energy if you don't have a goal? Yeah. Necessity, the mother of invention. Many of our potentials have manifested out of necessity to survive or thrive. A police officer tried catching a weak looking thief who escaped. When asked why the thief outran him, he said, "I ran as part of my duty." He ran to save his life. His motivation was greater. Great potential may at times manifest out of necessity, but usually, if our goal is only to survive, you work enough only to survive. If you just want to pass, you study just enough to scrape through. I can relate to that. Hmm. Role of goal in manifesting potential. How much strength do we need in lifting this book? Not much. To lift something heavier, a lot more strength is needed and utilized. We can also increase our ability to lift heavier and heavier objects by practice. But why should we practice? When for most of us, the heaviest object that we need to lift is just ourselves. But a weightlifter who decides to win in the Olympics practices day and night in order to lift that gold medal. The higher the goal, the greater is the potential that we manifest. Goals enable us to perform our potentials. Role of the goal in overcoming obstacles. Edmund Hillary said, I did not conquer Mount Everest, I conquered myself. When the great mountain stands before us, beckoning us, we can more easily overcome our moments of weakness. Therefore, higher the goal, greater is the ability to manifest in overcoming the obstacles from within and without. How should we go about setting these great goals? To have a goal, yes. How should we set them? Sutra 8 says, twofold indeed is this goal, the immediate and the ultimate. Goal setting. Setting the right goal is important. Understanding of goals helps us to set the right goals. Goals can be divided into immediate, intermediary, immediate, and the ultimate or the final goal. The intermediate goals can be further divided into immediate goal, short term goal, long term goal. What is an immediate goal? It is what we need to do today or in the immediate future. Often people plan for a great future ahead, but waste their present. A well planned daily routine gives us time to utilize our present well. Short term goal is what we plan to achieve within the next 2 or 4 years. Long term goal is what we want to be in the next 5 to 15 years. Children have only immediate goals and live in the present. Balastavat Krida Shakta. The youth plan their short term goals, dream about long term goals, but often do not plan and waste away their present in indulgence. Tarunastavat Taruni Shakta. As adults, they are too busy in the present and plan only for future financial security. The elderly live in worry of fulfilling their immediate and short term goals. Vriddhastavat Chinta Shakta. Alas, none think of the ultimate goal. Parame Brahmani Kopina Shakta. Goal for every role. We play many roles in our lives. For every role that we play in the present and we shall play in the future, we must have a goal. What type of a son, a student, a spouse, a professional, parent, citizen, or grandparent do we want to be? What should I do to achieve that? We usually make plans and work hard only for achieving professional goals. We do not empower ourselves to become ideal citizens or spouses. Some only put forth efforts when relationships are on the verge of breaking. Ultimate goal. Goal for every role. Very true. We always put attention in probably professional goals. Yeah. Ultimate goal. Everyone seems to have a different goal in life, but are they really different? Is there something common in them? Do we all want to be happy at the end of the day? The doctor, the actor, the social worker all want never ending and ever increasing happiness. We all want eternal and infinite happiness. That is the only ultimate goal of every human being, irrespective of their age, nationality, religion, class, or color. How are these goals interrelated? Sutra 9 says there must be harmony between them, harmonizing goals. The primary goals should become means which lead to the ultimate goal. They should empower us in actualizing our dreams. They should be like rungs in the ladder of success. each elevating and taking us closer to the highest. The house owner shooed away a beggar at his door. Beggar, talk respectfully to me. I am the author of the bestseller, 101 Ways of Becoming Rich. Man, then why are you begging, beggar? This is one of the ways. One wonders whether such a means will make him rich. Another man wanted to become billionaire by marrying a billionaire's daughter. Surely an easy means, but not a very commendable one. One man wanted to go from rags to riches by stealing a bank. Even if he succeeded, it could lead him back from riches to rags. In case the goal, in case of goal leading to the goal, a case of goal leading to the goal, a case of goal leading to a goal, the intermediate goals should be both right and righteous if we want ultimately to be happy and peaceful. There should be There should not be contradictions between the goals. One who dreams of climbing the Mount Everest and remains ever at rest, that's me, will never reach even its base camp. In order to realize your dreams, you must, in order to realize your dreams, you have to wake up and move in the right direction till you reach your destination. It is observed that even though the tests come from outside, the lessons are learned inside. Even though the intermediate goals may be external, like becoming a doctor, their result is experienced within as satisfaction and joy, which is what we ultimately want anyway. Is there an example which illustrates a harmonious interrelationship between goals? So, Sutra number 10 says just as purity of mind for gaining liberation, liberating mind, bondage is to identify with the false and consequently suffer. It is due to ignorance of our true nature. Liberation is the attainment of eternal and finite happiness, our ultimate goal by the removal of this ignorance. Therefore, self knowledge is the direct means to liberation. Let me read that again. Liberating mind. Bondage is to identify with the false and consequently suffer. Yeah. It is due to ignorance of our true nature. Liberation is the attainment of eternal and infinite happiness, our ultimate goal, by the removal of this ignorance. Liberation is the attainment of the infinite is the attainment of eternal and infinite happiness, our ultimate goal by removal of this ignorance. Therefore, self knowledge is the direct means of liberation. However, only one who has a pure, subtle, concentrated mind can attain self knowledge, can gain self knowledge. Therefore, purity of the mind is the primary goal of a seeker of liberation. He diligently follows he diligently follows means like worship, puja, repetition of the name of God, japa, or performs actions without selfishness and with the attitude of surrender to God, karma yoga, in order to gain purity of mind and ultimately liberation. Ishvara, Ishvara, Prap, Ishvara, Pidam, Nichaya, Kritam, Chitta, Shodakam, Mukti Sadakam, Upadesha verse number 3. Ishvara, Ishvarapitam, Nichaya चित्तशोधकं मुक्तिसाधकम् ईश्वरार्पितं निश्चयकृतं 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 चित्तशोधनं Isadakam. Hmm. Identifying. Here, the key is identifying with the truth as opposed to the false. Just as the purity of mind for gaining liberation. Yatha moksha prapyate chitta shuddhi. Is needed. Chapter 3, we will see next. It is about empowerment. So, but what have we learned so far? The first thing, the first chapter was about lessons from life on life. First chapter was taking charge. First is taking charge. We learned that we cannot live somebody else's life. We live our own life, knowing, knowing versus doing. So we have to, Sutra number 1. No, Sutra number 2, sorry. Knowing and practicing this, life becomes easy. So when life's lessons that you know, also practice them. Now, Sutra number 3 says there are two imperatives in life: to deal with situations as they come and to create one's own future. Here we saw how to face life with what attitude, making your life, being present, not just rummaging through life, living my own life. Sutra number 4 said, there one cannot live the life of someone else. Correct? You have to live your own life. But mutual help is a good idea, helping each other. In accepting or giving this help, there should be no ego or arrogance. Yeah. Life becomes beautiful only with humility. Then the chapter concluded with, therefore, accepting the responsibility of one's own life, one should make all the effort to make it success. There are 4 types of people who make it happen: those who talk of making it happen, those who talk of what happened, and those who wonder what happened. Huh? Which portion or which type are you? Make it happen. How do you make it happen? Self doubt, not a good idea. So he says, potential, perform to potential, born to succeed. Everybody is born to succeed. They have all the things that they need within them. Human birth is special because only humans have all these different freedoms: freedom of movement, speech, survival, choice of thought, freedom in action. And because this freedom is given to us, it's a whole make or break thing. How you use it, how you use this God gifted freedom, the double edged sword. Now, whatever potential you need to succeed is there. The door, you knock, and the door shall be opened, he says. We have the physical potential, body, speech, mind, intellect, external means. To manifest them, a great goal is necessary. How do you channelize your energy? You channelize it when you have a goal. And how do you set these goals? Twofold indeed. In goal setting, make sure you have a long term and you have an intermediate goal and then immediate goal. Immediate goal is talks about daily discipline, how you live your life daily. Intermediate goal is in 2 to 4 years what you want to achieve, and long term goal is long term. Funny examples were given also. Then, of course, your intermediary goal should be like rungs on the ladder. They move you towards your ultimate goal. But all of this is possible. How? When the mind is pure, it is possible. Is there an example which illustrates a harmonious interrelationship between goals? Yes. Bondage. So basically, when setting goals, if you're identifying with the truth and not the false, it helps you move that much closer. Bondage is to identify the false and consequently suffer. It is due to ignorance of our true nature. Liberation is that attainment of eternal and infinite happiness, our ultimate goal. We also identified that our ultimate goal, be it whatever role you play, your goal happens to be, everybody's goal happens to be having never ending or ever increasing happiness. And we also saw that every role that we play, for every role we play in the present and we shall play in the future, we must have a goal. For every role, have a goal. What type of a son, student, spouse, professional, parent, citizen, or grandparent do I want to be? What should I do to achieve that? We usually make plans and work hard for achieving professional roles. We do not empower ourselves to become ideal citizens or spouses. Some only put forth efforts when relationships are on the verge of breaking. He says, work on every role that you have. Play it well. All right, chapter 3, empowerment. We'll see you next time.